consultation period has been extended and discussions with financial aid are ongoing. Another challenge we faced was the implementation of the NSFAS Visimeti loan scheme. Despite opposition from key stakeholders in the higher education sector, this scheme has only added to the frustrations of students it was meant to support, as their funding remains uncertain. The SRC continues to actively seek clarity and solutions to address this issue and the competence. Okay. And then another challenge that we have financially is of the students who did their higher certificate studies twice. Despite our effort to address this issue, we often find ourselves taking 10 steps backward. However, it's worth noting that progress is being made through a case-by-case approach adopted by the SRC and financial aid. Some students in this cohort have received funding and we are committed to continuing our efforts. I will be meeting with the financial aid next week to review more cases. Therefore, I encourage all students in this category who have not yet received their funding to reach out to me so that we can consider their situations individually. On the academic front, perhaps as an advocacy structure ourselves, it may be important to address firstly the issue of faculty-student councils. Unfortunately, the SRC remains in the dark about the recent elections process which stalled in the results phase. Both students and faculties have expressed concern about the absence of the structure which plays a vital role. I will take this seeking clarity in the resolution on this matter, but our efforts have not yielded results thus far. The assessment exams have commenced for eligible students. With special exams, final students will be granted 2 opportunities to retake exams for modules failed in each semester. The decision was recently approved by the General Rules Committee. Advocacy on campus has been a significant focus of attention recently. The rational suspension of President Axola Toto, which sent shockwaves across the campus, was not the only issue causing concern. Multiple student structures were denied recognition after submitting the applications, leading to negative impact on various student processes. One such process affected was the SRC constitutional review, which was surrounded by controversy and lacked the democratic and student representation it needed. Additionally, the student parliament could not be lodged due to the delegation process collapse caused by student leaders who were rightfully questioning the denial of the recognition by SGU. However, the SRC collaborated with many of the student structures and appeals processes were initiated and have now been successfully concluded. This means that the structures will now actively participate in representing their constituents, and processes such as student parliament can finally be launched. The SRC is eager to continue working alongside the student structures for the remainder of the term, ensuring that student voices are heard and represented effectively on campus. The SRC has also successfully organized a variety of recreational activities that not only provide opportunities for leisure but also promote social cohesion among students. From hosting the Rugby World Cup screenings to organizing the Spirit Cup and various other events, the SRC has been dedicated to creating a vibrant and inclusive campus community. In the realm of sports, the SRC has seen great success with different sport teams participating in the annual Musa Winter Championships. A significant milestone has been achieved with the inclusion of female rugby and male netball in the annual University Sport Championships, reflecting the SRC sports commitment to gender equality and equity. Furthermore, the SRC is proud to announce that 75 students will be representing Team South Africa in the Kuxa region 5 games in Pretoria, competing against other nations in international tournaments. This is a statement to the talent and dedication of our student athletes. While the SRC has made significant progress in providing recreational and social cohesion opportunities, there is still room for improvement, particularly in better including commuter students in student affairs activities. The SRC acknowledges this and is committed to enhancing inclusivity for all students for the remainder of the term. The SRC remains dedicated to fostering a sense of community and providing diverse opportunity for students to engage in recreational activities and sports. We look forward to continuing to support and empower our student body in the pursuit of their passions and interests. Community outreach plays a vital role in bridging the gap between the university and the larger society. The university, like the society, is not immune to challenges, and it is our responsibility to address them. Under the leadership of Mabaleng Auditorium, the Office of Civil and Social Responsibility has been actively involved in various outreach programs aimed at improving the situations in our communities. These initiatives include clothing donation, drives, yard improvements, and soup kitchens, among many others, to support those especially in need. Not only have these drives made a positive impact on community, but they've also strengthened the university's connection with local residents. Moving forward, the office has exciting initiatives planned for this Women's Month to address the patriarchal elements still prevalent in our society. Additionally, efforts to combat substance abuse are being approached in innovative and creative ways, with more details to be shared in the near future. In terms of policy development and reviews, it is crucial that those affected by policies are consulted in the decision-making process. This is in line with the university's guidelines for policy formulation, development, and review. The SRC has been actively involved in advocating for policies that benefit students. While there have been instances where the SRC felt that students were not genuinely consulted but just used to check boxes, successful collaborations such as the student mental health policy have demonstrated the importance of students' input. The SRC will continue to work closely with departments, providing valuable insights and mobilizing students to ensure that their voices are heard in shaping policies that impact them. We have recently received the news of Professor Peterson's departure as the Vice Chancellor to pursue new opportunities at the University of Pretoria. We extend our best wishes to him and look forward to the appointment of the new Vice Chancellor and Principal of our institution. It is crucial that the new leader can effectively steer the university towards global ambitions while upholding its reputation and maintaining order across all aspects of the institution. So, in the limited time available, I have attempted to provide a brief update on the progress made during the first semester and outline what lies ahead for our administration until the new leadership assumes their role following the conclusion of the SRC elections towards the end of August. Our goal is to ensure a smooth and productive semester characterized by academic excellence, diverse opportunities, and enriching experiences for students. Our commitment to addressing any issue that may arise and working collaboratively with student leaders and the wider student body to achieve our shared objectives. This commitment is unwavering and will continue to prioritize the needs and concerns of our students. I would like to conclude here and express my gratitude for your attention and support. The announcement that I had though is that CTN was once again granted permission to continue supporting non-NSFAS missing neatly extended students only with study material in the form of a laptop. Therefore, laptops for identified registered students for 2024 across all 3 campuses have been procured. The following date identified will be for the distribution. From the 29th of July to the 1st of August, they will be distributed in the Kauplo campus, and then for the Bloemfontein campus, it will be the 6th to the 8th of August, and lastly for the sub-campus, it will be the 14th of August. The laptop distribution will only be carried out on identified and mentioned dates above. So qualifying registered students identified based on the 2024 registration data will receive individual communication per campus. Any inquiries regarding this distribution will be directed to material.access@ufs.ac.za. I thank you.
Thank you so much, President, for that very fruitful engagement with us, and I think everyone is captured. So now going forward, we're going to move into the last bit of our agenda for today, which is the Q&A session. So before we jump straight into that, we'll just go through a few ground rules, and then we'll just take it from there. All right. So rules are simple. I think we're all leaders here, so by now we have a firm understanding of how such engagements happen. Rule number 1, participants must raise their hand and be acknowledged by the facilitator, which is myself, before speaking. No one is allowed to speak without being recognized by the facilitator. Respect must be maintained when raising your questions or making comments. Any disrespectful behavior will not be tolerated within this venue. There will be 2 rounds of questions. Each round has, there will be 2 rounds of questions, each round with 3 questions. And then, of course, 1 more round of follow-up questions, but however, determined by the amount of time we have there. All the questions must be directed to the President as the accounting officer of the SRC. There are questions that are portfolio specific, And lastly, failure to consistently comply with the above-mentioned rules will result in the individual being asked politely to excuse us from the room. So without wasting any further time, I hope that is in order. I'll be taking our first round of questions. One. We have one question. We have question number 2. And question number 3 for our first round of questions in that order.
Good afternoon. My name is Paul and I'm from Power. I have 2 questions for our program. Number 1, there are students that receive SMSs that their second semester studies will not be suspended. However, 600 will be deducted from their allowances. So I want to know whether you think it's fair for the university to do that, considering that already that the allowances they get is not enough for them to have access to food and other essential expenses. The other question that I have is in regard to student safety. With the upcoming testing exam season, will the SFC still provide the bus or the shuttle, especially considering that excellent security stopped their escorting services? Those are my 2 questions.
Thank you so much, Chair. My name is Joanna Senator and student for the university. My chairperson of the session, it comes to the students who were initially accepted or funded. What is the plan of the SRC? Because we saw that majority of them are going to be excluded. So we want to know if the SRC have any sponsors or funders who are willing to pay for those students, as we have seen in other universities that they have achieved their when it comes to sponsors. I think my second question, Chair, I was captured when it comes to the student safety, but I would really like to thank the commuter and the whole SRC when it comes to the exam drive. We were part of it, they did a great job. But Chair, I would really like the SRC to look into the issue of excellent. Excellent is paid by the university. And they started in a very good path where they were escorting us off-campus students. So now that it's been stopped, we would like the commuter and the whole SRC to look into it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, mine is just too short. My name is Andres Alphonse and I'm representing the student program. I just wanted to ask, many of the questions that I was going to ask, they were covered by the previous leaders there. So I just wanted to ask, what are the measures that you as the SLC are addressing the systematic inequalities that exist within our campus or the education system here, and also particularly in terms of funding and access to resources?
Alright, well, thanks so much. And then we conclude our first round of questions. Call upon the President to respond accordingly, and we'll take our second round of questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Director, and thank all of you for those constructive questions. So I'll start with the question of 600 allowances. I'll speak in my political nature. I think we all agree, we all know how much of a capitalist university the University of the State is. What comes first is the financial flow before any other thing. Therefore, the exclusions were happening in a very brutal manner. However, to kill the elephant, sometimes we won't be able to collapse it all at once. We do piece by piece. Therefore, that's how we're then able to kind of tone down the brutality the university was approaching these registrations with. Because at first they were just registering everyone, not caring about circumstances. So first we spoke on the NSFAS issues, but some students, it's not their fault that they are able to do. Their funding still remains unclear. And then perhaps the 600 then comes from there. So as I did mention when I was speaking, that it's still an ongoing process, it's still ongoing negotiations, but we're really trying to collapse the elephant. So now it's one bite at a time. So the stance of 600, of course, we're completely against it. But sometimes when you're going to war, if you're able to win just a bit, you take it and go home, and then go to play fair on how we're going to win more, we're going back to the battlefield. So I think it must be on record that we don't agree agree with the university taking from the already limited allowances from students, and we're not just not agreeing folding our arms, but to continue to try and engage the university, and the engagement skill, of course, we shall then meet on the ground. And secondly, the question was about whether the bus shuttle will continue to exist during this semester, if I may. Now, the bus project was piloted for the first time ever, at least since I arrived. So now, to pilot such a project, you need strong backing rationale on why you think it will succeed, and for the university to even deploy resources to it. But then what's exciting is that when we implemented the project, we made it to be very evidence-based. So right now we do have numbers that do indicate that students do need the service, and it was successful, students did use the services. So now that we're not only using a rationale but scientific data to show that it's actually a need in the university, we will then continue to advocate that the so-called care principle in the region of daily continues to find expression by the past coming back this semester, and hopefully for the rest of the SRC administrations that will ever take office. So it was a pilot project that has never been done before, had nothing to reference to, and it was initialized by us. But then I think the scientific part of it, gather the numbers and making sure that we do it as practical as possible with assist us in ensuring that it comes back again this semester. But also I think what may also be important and worth noting is that as a SRC, our role is advocacy and not really decision making. That's why whenever we try to do things, we try to gather as much data as possible so that the data can support our advocacy initiatives. But we still continue to advocate and fight if we have to, so that the student safety is prioritized, especially that PASS initiative continues and becomes a legacy project. Okay, the third question was on initiatives to assist students who have been registered, just like what other universities do, fundraise for the registered students. So the SRC did release a statement in June that there is a bursary program that they've initiated, which I believe that they will then continue to communicate more on it. And then there was a question about excellent services and no longer doing escorts. That is something that we still have to take up with protection services, and we ensure that the additional because in our meetings last semester, the agreement was that what they were going to deploy additional vehicles to ensure that all bases are covered, and then they then do the escorting process. So then it has to still be tabled with the protection service to find out that where did our agreement then reach that objective. And then lastly, the question of systematic injustices, you pardon my ignorance if it is, but it sounds very philosophical, especially when we find ourselves in the university like the University of the Free State, because it's historical, it's a legacy of colonialism and apartheid, and it continues to bite us even today. It's still a ravaging beast. I even think that whatever happened today is part of these historic or systematic injustices that happen in the campus. But one thing I can commit to is that there's no debate we've ever accepted lying down. And perhaps to stretch it a bit more and say we've never been defeated. So it's a very it's a very broad question, if I may, because it doesn't speak to specific systematic injustices that have happened. But then we do know that overall there's still systematic injustices that are still prevalent. And of course, bit by bit, we're fighting the element as we hope that even the succeeding continue moving forward. So I think to some certain point in the answers I said speaking, not on direct.
Oh, thank you so much, Deputy President, Acting President. I think we've reached the conclusion of the first round of questions, so we just want to jump straight into the second round of questions, and hopefully we're going to get as much engagement as the first round of questions. So I'll not wasting time.
there hasn't been communication about the distribution.
So if I'm capturing your question correctly, you're asking about distribution as to what's the way with the distribution, right?
Like the missing middle. I get it because the students that are not to appreciate. So does this case for the missing middle as well? Because there hasn't been a communication about the distribution.
All right, next hand.
Greetings to the House at large. Wale Andrews, Chairperson of the Council. Acting President, Wale, good afternoon. My question is simple. It's alluded to what you just asked. The direct involvement of student finances in this regard with the missing middle as well as those affected by the high certificate. Could we then have a timeline from you as to how we're going to be delegating and deliberating that issue, as well as looking into distributing or even making available the financial records of how the university is assisting those students to the student populace, as well as those who are leading structures in this university.
Thank you so much. Next hand.
Thank you very much, facilitator of this meeting. I'm going to try to be short, like a mini skit, but just recovering themselves as always. Comrade, acting president, considering the issue that you are a member of the EFF Student Commander, in fact, the SRC, the CSRC is led by the EFF Student Commander. And the funding principle of the EFF Student Commander, it's not to champion only the interests of the student, but to champion also the interests of the workers within the institution where students are attending. I just want to, my question is that, in fact, what is the SRC doing, in particularly to champion the interests of the workers in this institution, cleaners, can name them, securities, and everyone. The second question is that, Comrade Acting President, you know within yourself that the living conditions of our commuter students, can name Banvar, off campus, they are not living conditions whereby they are good. So what is the SRC doing in terms of going and confronting those capital landlords that are exploiting and giving our students dilapidated living conditions? Because when you address them, we have never spoke about off-campus students, but the majority of the students who are in this campus, they are off-campus students. So it means the state of the campus is only based on what is being achieved by the SRC, but not what the SRC have failed. So we want to, acting president, to speak not only to claim his victims.
No, thank you so much, Leadership.
My brother, you are suppressing me, but it's
I
fine.
did state at the beginning that you please be precise and straight to the point in asking your question. I think it's not right now. And can you please get the last hand who can say from the venue?
Good evening, comrades. My question relates to our president. Our president was unjustly removed from office. We voted for that president. We voted overwhelming majority on this campus. But that Morena was removed from office unjustly. So we want to know what's the stance of the SRC with regards to that. We are saying, and we want to reassure everyone that we are saying hands off our president, and we want him back in office. That Morena, we voted for him with an overwhelming majority, and we want him back in office. Management was not agitate us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. That concludes our last round of questions. Then we will go to our follow-up round, but then over to you, President.
Thank you. So the first question was on the missing link. Firstly, where I must highlight that I was in the institutional multi-stakeholder group forum last month in June, that is chaired by Officer Sen. So, in that meeting, I'll be blatantly honest with you, he was really not inspiring confidence about how this scheme of missing law is going to work out. He was also just as equally frustrated as we were that there's no clarity on the scheme. But then I'll take that question and bind it together with the high certificate. But first I must mention that the high certificate issue is a policy issue that is outlined in the guidelines, 2024 funding guidelines, where it's regarded as a separate course, and so the NSFAS doesn't do fund programs twice. Of course, that is just additional, and when it comes to reality, we all know that high certificate is always used as a entry course to the university, and not a separate program. So it has to be fighting university management to realize and be realistic about, and not be additional about things that they even know themselves. However, the ISMC was in Cape Town for its past week to resolve many issues, and I believe that they will release comprehensive communication about all our issues that they raised with NSFAS as they were in their offices in this week. Okay, I think that covers the funding part because there are new developments that happened this week as the ISRC was in Cape Town. So I'll move to, I was asked about the political ability which deployed all the equity resources, of course, on what's our stance on the workers. Firstly, we regard the cleaners as our mothers and fathers who provide sustenance for many young black kids in townships who are just like us, you see, who came from impoverished and hopeless areas. Therefore, we always try as much as possible to join forces with them in whatever we try to do. There was a student workers forum that I'm not sure if it still exists or what, but what I know is that we have been visited by numerous unions in our offices to let us know of issues that they are facing and how we can assist them. Even when they are planning, even the strikes that they are planning ahead of this semester, they came to us and said, can you please mobilize a student for us to support us in our strikes? Of which is what we're going to do, because as it was correctly mentioned that the organization affiliates with, which is the EFF, certainly assists the struggles of the workers, okay, takes them serious, let me just say that. And so as we remain committed to the goal to share the struggle of the workers with the struggles of the students. As evidence to this, the EFFSC SRC 2021 pioneered the insourcing of security workers, which was successful, or cleaners were insourced by the university. So they eliminated the tendering system. So even the struggle still continues, we still fight to ensure that even cleaners or securities are insourced and other outsourced activities, you see, so that our mothers have stable and permanent jobs and not still having to switch between one contractor to the other, just like it was happening with Musa and whatever the new security company is called, because it's a threat to their sustainable jobs and there are many issues that are associated with them. But then I can commit to you that the SRC shares those struggles and is committed to assist our parents to be secure in their sustenance. And then accommodation that are in a bad state. I think this was one of our first SRC projects last year. As soon as we entered office, the SRC coordinator submitted a project that she wants to conduct an inspection of all accommodations that are recognized by HRA, of which after that she compiled a very comprehensive report and sent it back to HRA about what she found. The pictures were quite scary when she shared them with me, but I think one of the results that came from that inspection was that is it about 5, I don't know how many accommodations that lost their accreditation. So, but we're not going to be patient with is our students being subjected to poor living conditions just because they're desperate for accommodation. So it's not only rhetoric, but it's been happening that many accommodations have lost their accreditation, which I think is also related to the KPA issue, because now, as exploitative as they are, they don't disclose to students that no, but they're no longer accredited because of 1, 2, 3. So students still go there with the belief that no, these are accredited accommodations, whereas the SRC fought very hard to ensure that they use the accreditation status. There are many agencies providers that still want to get recognition by HRA. Okay. And the last one was on the stance of the president. Even today, we still held bent to say the suspension of the president was irrational. And I think it relates to everything that happened today because the school was shaking that what do you want to say to the students about the suspension of the president. Immediately after the president was suspended, we released a statement saying we're not going to hold our heads and allow them to unfairly persecute him like that. What's worse is that everything that was suspended for brought order and its income within the campus. One of the charges was that he broke a door in financial aid. What happened after that door was broken? Financial aid was refusing to engage with us. Broke a door in EZaga. Once we had a meeting, they agreed to use their own money, coffers of the school, to give students who were suffering with transport allowance at the time 600 so that they could commute from their places of residence to the school. And there was calm after because those students were protesting. And how to neglect him for using income in executing. The other charge was that he threatened with violence during registration. He threatened staff members with violence. There were many results, or rather, how to say benefits carefully, because they were depriving students of being able to save and visit in school. But after everything, after every demonstration that was done there, NASFA cards alone increased spaces by 350. Therefore, we believe that the president was unfairly persecuted. That's what he said, persecuted. And we also not willing to fold our arms when it happens. Therefore, we invited leadership structures today, and as the secretary puts it, influencers, because we believe that you are the people who can actually ensure that the student voices are heard qualitatively. The SRC cannot work in silos. Nobody is an island. When they say nobody is an island, you need a SRC. You cannot magically achieve everything on our own. That's why one of the aims of today's practice was to make sure that everyone who has a beautiful influence in wherever they are, we come together and collaboratively work together to ensure that the will of the students prevails. I hope I didn't speak like a politician, but I kind of captured and answered everyone correctly.
Well, thank you very much, President, for that. And then now we're moving into the last round of questions, which will serve as a follow-up round, meaning that you can only ask a question based on what has been spoken on and from the previous speakers that asked questions. You can't come and ask them about what's meaning the opportunity is sailed. So with that said, I'm going to begin with the question to follow up. We have number one, follow-up, going once, going twice, and so. Alright, you have 2 follow-ups. You have 3 follow-ups. And 4 follow-ups. So it's fine for this. We take the 4 follow-ups, then just repeat myself one more time. I think I did read the rules very clearly as to how it must happen. And that is remain straight to the point, not including spices and all those things. Thanks so much. Starting in that order.
I'm going back to the 600 issue. You say you're against the 600 action, and you try to throw the elephant in the case. Should this elephant refuse to die? Why can't we do that as we have communicates to really take this mission? Because I mean, 600 is a lot of money to be collected in the house. You get me that? Hey, 1,000 hands. So what ultimately we have to actually tackle this issue?
No, thank you very much. Moving on to the next hand.
No, thank you very much, Mr. My question, my follow-up question is based on the KPA issue. Comrades, the HRD, I think, and I would like to believe that they have processes that they do in order for the foundation to get accredited. So now, how come that every year we deal with the same issue, and then they don't go back to the very same people that they're doing all the accreditation, because those people, they need to be held accountable. Because how do you then accredit a place that is not suitable, and then still the people that are accrediting these places are not held accountable, because it means the same mistakes or issues are going to face them on a yearly basis. So now, I believe also the SLC can do something to make sure that the people who are doing all of those processes, they can be held accountable, because we cannot be speaking about the same thing each and every year. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Next time.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, my brother, there's an issue here in this campus, and the issue of court interviews here.
I'm sorry, leadership, just to re-emphasize, this is a follow-up round. So I just want to re-emphasize before you
My
continue.
brother, where must we ask questions? If we can't ask questions here.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Where must we ask questions if we can't ask questions here?
This is a follow-up
I
round.
understand, but it's a follow-up question for me also.
My brother, if you don't have a follow-up question, please remain seated. Thank you so much. Final hand?
Comrade, Acting President, my follow-up. There's a pattern from management here. Our presidents are being unjustly removed from office. Axola was not the first person. Even at Kotwa campus, our president was removed from office. They unjust by management based on nonsensical charges. So we are saying now we want program of action from you. What must happen now? Because we cannot sit and hold our hands back when management keeps on removing our leaders. So we are saying,
Okay. Ay, cancel. You are now.
Thank you, Corporate Director, and distinguished guests. Once more instructive. The 600 questions, I think my brother already wanted to pre-end thinking, which is something that is missing in our vocabulary. There's no meaning there, you see. I'm still waiting for the day when one will say, okay, but let me continuously communicate with students or when you are in our engagement. And usually what happens is that what cannot be solved in courtrooms can only be solved on the street. So I'm really happy that you are here today. Because should we fail, that is the last alternative, right? And the level of aggression will be determined by the level of arrogance we are getting from the management. Accountability on HRA. I'll be very brutally honest with you. That has been a crisis. We've said with HRA management so many times, even the people who know that they are the causes of the problems, we'll take through them in the thing like this and point to the person we say, but this is the person who's doing this thing, you see. They say, okay, we need to calm, nothing happens, the person still so it's a real crisis. And now when you look at the HRA, you thought it's a self-sustaining business whatsoever. Doesn't get subsidies from the school and whatever you see. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily run on a governance basis, but the hierarchy there is something else you see. So, but that doesn't mean that also we have given up. We continue to try other alternative means. If you should release petition from students to say, but this particular person is the one who's bringing us issues, we'll continue to do it. But I'm not promising an easy fight. Because if we whether it's for any person looking at us, we are risking our own safety, but still be it's an issue. But we continue trying to hold those people accountable and doing whatever means we have to, because we never accept defeat. That's why it's a foundational philosophy. But I would admit that it's currently giving us issues, and not only us, it's been years with people who are brokers and corrupt for instance, the contracts to their friends, to comrades, because even some comrades are involved in this thing of presenting students in accredited house, and after they sign everything, they take them to another house. That is, there's all kinds of issues. So there's a lot that is happening there. But what's important is that we got accountable to people who give everything to them, which is a continuous process, of course, that will be completed in a day. And I think steps by steps we are recording some progress. The last question was on the program of action about the president. What is the subsidy saying must be done? At this current point, I would say the suspension of the president was a political assassination. And you can trust me that from the political end, it's being dealt with. president's actions in the SRC were beneficial to all students, regardless of their political affiliation, interest, or participation. Therefore, what we as the SRC continue to call on is that students, the persecution of the president was unfair, and if there's any current call on the ground, we are fully in support of it to show the world that the persecution was not procedural and the right thing was done.
Excuse me.
So what's important in all of what I've said is that I'll keep on repeating that the SRC does not claim to know it all or have all solutions. But the reason why many of you were handpicked to be here today is because we would appreciate to see more of you in our offices coming to assist us with direction and showing us where we are wrong, where we can improve going forward, in this instance in our terms of, and then we can deliver qualitatively to our students, our constituents, and all the people that are looking at us and our influence to bring about change. Thank you, Proper Director.
No, I think let's have a round of applause for our. No, hopefully, colleagues, you all gained much insight into what's currently happening within the SRC for 2024, prospectively looking at the future also as to what is yet to come. We are reaching the final stages of our event tonight, and with that said, I wish to send high levels of gratefulness to all our attendees today, starting, of course, with the acting president for the fruitful presentation. Thank you so much, Mr. President, and of course, alongside you, Secretary and other SRC members that are present today within the various portfolios. Thank you so much for this for being yourself today, and of course, our VIP guests that honored the invite today. And lastly, but not least, definitely not least, our chairpersons and student leaders that are here with us today. Believe me, without you guys, this event would definitely wouldn't have been successful. It is through your patience and your willingness to be with us today that the event was able to reach the stage that it reached. But however, this is not the end, of course. More is yet to come, and some of you might know that some more events are coming from the SRC side that will look into what is then to be done. And the question now to be answered going forward from what the President has presented is the question of what is to be done going forward. It's a very famous question. I'm sure some of you know it right now. But lastly, thank you so much, guys, for availing yourself. I think that is it from my side. My name is EZaga, the CSRC Policy and Transformation for the Bloemfontein Campus 2023-2024. It was an honor, and thank you so much for availing yourself today.
Yo, Kanene, ndiyahamba.
Okay, so many colleagues. Apparently, I prepared for you a smaller bibliography of things that the SRC is kind of doing to manufacture. It's not in detail, but this is all of them. Here the secretary conducting for leaders, this was the mental health policy, what do you call it, consultation. Here we're rewinding academic excellence. I don't know what SRC was doing. And then Asia, on the right end, we were dealing with the social injustices that are still prevalent in our campuses that we are mentioning on the ground. Specifically, the racism issue where a white student basically called a black student a baboon, and then later came to us a baboon. This year, the SRC commuter was grabbing part of my response and telling them that they're going to force out money from students, whereas students have not been taken care of qualitatively. And then this was our pilot bus project. And here we were the first ones to, last year, I think it was the second week of our term, we started the conversations of the ISRC constitutional review because it was really about time. On the top right, or on the right, it's part of our meetings that we heated, but we tried our best. exam drive by the University of Academics together with the SRC, and that should be about it. And then lastly, we did try to get something for stomach, hopefully it suffices. Thank you so much. Okay, one last. Please assist us to designate everything that was kind of shared here today. We really rely on you for that, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, sugar to this something engikhohliwe. Hey, half past and baby bensa within. Where's my bag? Oh. The highest is if woman we like 20.
They will still watch it when they
Gonna ben khalalu for the president. Gonna ben khalalu. Can I just take a video with you, please?
Alright, no problem.
Mina uyazi ukuthi angikwazi Nkosi yami ukuthatha ipicture. You're welcome. Likewise. And ngiyafuna le video ufuna ngiyozibheka lapha dimene praise
angishuthe lapha nami
is this alive diqalele I'm just still live Futhumelo Thank you so much.
Like, do we have to use the article today?
We have to, dog. Mina ngisalive namanje. Ayawubona ngijiki. Uzofa ile jiki.
So I was thinking for now we should do an update, like update.
Yeah, and then maybe in the morning. Maybe first thing in the morning we have an article.
But now, we'll work on it. And then I was recording along the way. So I don't know how much.
Now, you ask me to say when they live, you can always go and rewatch it.
I won't have time to rewatch the live.
No, beg. We will get it. Signing out, guys.